Hello everybody, you see the title, so why don't today we do my ideal Thomas. Now since I can't really do anything with the stories, I might as well tell you guys my ideals because boredom I guess, I don't know. Okay, before this video starts, I would like to say that I'm actively working on the Northwestern fleet of engines Enigma as of right now. I don't have a definitive basis for these characters, and I don't have a numbering system down or paint schemes for them yet. So bear with me as I'm just freeballing this edit. Alright, let's continue on. Thomas is number 105, built in 1915. He originally wasn't supposed to arrive on the Northwestern Railway as it was a purchase. His sister Victoria, known 100, the first E2 ever built, was ordered by the Wellsworth and Sodor Railway, also known as the WSR, before the merger of the three standard gauge railways from the Sodor at the time. During their time at Stewart's Lane, Victoria coupled Thomas in the back of a goods train while he was asleep, while the crew tarped him up. Tori, her nickname, would take the train during the entire chaos of World War I, as sirens and people screaming masked her escape. They soon arrived at the Northwestern Railway, where Thomas was later officially purchased. He would work as a station pilot for a few years until 1920, where Brian Catherick, the chief mechanical engineer at the time at Cronin's Gate Locomotive Works, decided to take the two E2s and modify them. First, they shortened the cylinder size to around E3s, but slightly larger to help them with high speed and their bouncing and level out the weight between the cylinders and the frames. They also gained new boilers for less coal consumption and a better boiler pressure. The cabs were made bigger for better comfort for the crew. The whistle was also moved down towards their boiler later down the line, as complaints from the crew to say that they shook and rattled every time they would blow their whistles. Thomas and Tori were also fitted with push-pull equipment while getting their overhauls done. In 1923, Edward and Tori, the two engines he looked up to the most, left to run the Brendan branch line. This would be a pain for the bigger engines, as usually Edward or Tori would keep Thomas in check, but without one of those two, he would bounce everywhere, getting on the bigger engine's nerves. After that, it just goes the same as in the books. He rescues James and helps rebuild the Tidmouth, Nafford, and Elbridge Light Railway, which would turn into the Farquhar branch line. Except for the part where Thomas gets his flat running board, because honestly, that just doesn't make sense. I mean, Thomas Comes to Breakfast still happens, but instead of it being the station master's house, it's the driver's house he crashes into. And since we're talking about Thomas, we might as well talk about Annie and Clarabelle. Annie and Clarabelle have nameplates on their side. Annie has Annabella, and Clarabelle has Clarabelle. They're both LBSCR push-pull bogie coaches. They were ordered in 1924 after push-pull traffic was needed on the Brendan branch line. They were originally supposed to go to Tori, but Topham ordered more than he needed. So he spared two brake coaches and gave them to Thomas after he started running the Farquhar branch line in 1925. They didn't really get along when they first met each other, but those are stories for another day, maybe once we get into season 1. And that's it for this video. I'll think about doing some more ideals in the future, since I'm still thinking of numbering system and paint schemes and shit like that. But more Engines Enigma stories and ideals will be coming soon. So until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you guys later.